guess I'm gonna watch The Invitation. I think it's a horror movie. I remember it came out somewhat recently and got pretty good reviews, and had a vague plot synopsis, so I don't know what I'm in for, but it's on Netflix. I don't know. If I don't watch it, then I'm watching Frogs 2, Return of the Frogs. Don't think that's a movie. Okay, I am not a professional filmmaker. I have never made a feature-length film. I've never directed and written anything that is feature-length. And so I am going to do something physically that will visually um, invalidate what I'm about to say. The Invitation is an awful, awful, stupid, dumb, terrible film. Um, oh boy. So basically, it's an hour and 20 minutes of characters rightfully going, I think maybe we're in a horror movie. This feels like a horror movie. Have you guys noticed that this is a horror movie? Seems like a horror movie. Oh, shut up. You're always saying we're in a horror movie. No, really, we're in a horror movie. And then at one point, when the person who says, keeps pointing out how everything is creepy, and much like a horror film, one little thing out of the many things that he notices turns out to be perfectly explainable. And then he goes, boy, golly, I must be all wrong. I guess maybe this isn't a horror film, and maybe I'm just crazy. And of course, another character goes, do you want to leave? Which, of course, would just end the film and fix a lot of problems. And he's like, no, I think now everything's fine, even though most of the problems I have haven't been explained. This is also one of those films that fills a lot of time by going, that thing sure happened. Yeah, well, how about that thing? Yeah, well, let's not talk about that thing. I'd like to talk about that thing. Be quiet about the thing. And then the thing is slowly revealed. Guess what? The thing is not that interesting. And it adds no dimension to the characters, really, that isn't already being expressed by the way the characters are acting. It just fills up time and attempts to make the whole situation more interesting, and it doesn't. So, surprise, surprise, this movie goes on for an hour and 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, surprise, it's a horror movie. And the way that it plays out isn't interesting at all. It's just people in a house that, yeah, it's like, and there's a lot you can do with that, but there's not a lot that they did with it. Yeah, so like, oh god, don't watch this. Just don't do it. Let's see, things you should watch instead. You could watch You're Next, which it gets very ridiculous to the point where some things are clearly supposed to be comedy, but I still think it's a good horror film. You could also watch Ty West, The Sacrament, which I actually think is on Netflix, and it does a much better job of having characters go into a situation that I think might be creepy and sort of feeling it out and being like, I don't know, let's try to figure this out. Seems like kind of creepy, and then once everything comes all together, it's still a shock in the way that it happens, and like it's just a much more cohesive, well thought out story. Yeah, I don't know. I gave this one a chance, first of all, because it was so easily accessible on Netflix. I don't have to dig around for it. But also because, and I know this is no guarantee of quality, but good rating on IMDb and Metacritic, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. And, Netflix adjusted score for me was like, oh yeah, I probably like this. But people who rated it on IMDb, not as big of fans. So I feel like the people, especially us horror fans, we know what's up.